today I wanted to go through The Boxer with you guys, which I think is one of the most perfect songs for playing in a group with other people and getting people to sing along. It's a song I think many of us have heard sung in private homes by family members and friends. It's a real, I don't know, for me it's like a real community song, which is part of the reason why I love it so much. If you enjoy the lesson, please don't forget to hit that like button. And everything we do is on Patreon if you want to get like nice PDFs of all the music and all the little bits that we cover. And also if it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe and ring the bell. So the way I'd like to approach the song is from the biggest level to the smallest. So we're going to start with the form, which is how it's put together. It's a very short introduction, then there's 6 verses, and there are 3 choruses, and the way it fits together is verse 1, verse 2, chorus. The chorus is always the same, lie, lie, lie. Verse 3, verse 4. In the original recording, there's no verse 4. Verse 4 is an instrumental solo, but we're going to include it. It's a really beautiful verse. Then there's another chorus, and then verse 5 and verse 6 and the final chorus. So the version that we're going to do today is really a maybe slightly compact version with like all the crucial parts, all the words, all the melody. But we're not gonna do the instrumental, and we're not gonna do the outro, and we're not gonna focus on the intro either. So the next thing after the form is to look at the chord progression. And for many people, this is actually the most confusing part of the song, because it's not a totally regular chord progression, number one. And number two, the words fall all over the place. And that for people is quite confusing, especially if you see it written out as a poem with the chords stuck on top. Much better to have a look at the chords, which are quite structured, quite a regular pattern, and then to fit the words over the chords. There are 2 main verse progressions, and then verse 5 has a unique progression, but again similar to the other verses. And then there's the chord progression of the chorus. So really 4 chord progressions that we need to learn to be able to play the song. Let's start with the verse 1 chord progression. It's a 6-line progression, 6 lines with 4 bars in each line. We're just going to go line by line. Now the first line goes like this: C, C. Then in the 3rd bar there's a C, and then the bass walks down. And then the last bar is A minor. C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, A minor. Now if I sing along, I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. And that's the first line. The second line is just the chord of G. 2 bars of G, 2 bars of G7. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such a... And then the words take us straight into the 3rd line, which is exactly the same as the first line. Promises, all lies and jests. Then we're going to the 4th line. Still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. So those are the first 4 lines of the verse, which stay the same in verse 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. The first 4 lines are the same, and the last 2 lines are different in verse 1 and 2. So once we've done those first 4 lines, we go to line 5, which has just got 3 bars. It's got 2 Gs and 1 G7. And this is the part where there's a kind of humming that goes along, which takes us to the last line, and the last line is just 4 bars of C. So if I just play through that first verse and just slowly sing along, I'm going to do 1 chord per bar, and hopefully you'll get an idea of the structure of the thing. I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I've squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jests, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. 2, 3, 4. So there's the first verse. Now the second verse, the first 4 lines are exactly the same, except it has only 5 lines, and the 5th line is kind of like It's a real ending, and it ends off and gets us ready for the chorus. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers. G7 in the quiet of the railway station, running scared. Laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go. And then the last line, looking for the places only they would know. And that gets us ready for the chorus. Then the chorus is much more straightforward. It's strummed, and it's A minor for 2 bars, E minor for 2 bars, A minor for 2 bars, and G7 for 2 bars. So now I'd like to take you through a very simple way of doing the picking. We're going to use a Travis pick, which means that the thumb's going to bounce between the bass notes and the fingers are going to fill in between the thumb. So there's only really 2 patterns that we're going to use for now. One is if we're playing like a C chord or an A minor chord, any chord where the bass note is on the 5th string. What we're going to do is we're going to play the thumb on the 5th and the 4th string. So in 1 bar would sound like this. And then we're going to use the middle and the index finger to play the B and the G string, and they're going to fill in between the thumb notes. And it's actually kind of going to go like a fan. It's going to go outside, string 5, string 2, and then inside, string 4 and string 3. And we're playing 8th notes, so we've got 8 notes per bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be 1 bar. There's one other pattern we could use with the right hand, and that's if we have a chord with a bass note on the 6th string, for example, a G chord. Now the G chord, I'm just going to hold down the 3rd fret because I'm only going to be playing these 4 strings in my picking pattern. So it's not necessary for me to hold down the 1st string because I'm not playing the 1st string. And the pattern's going to be exactly the same, except instead of playing the 5th string with a thumb, I'm going to play the 6th string. So it's going to sound like this. So now I'll just play through the first 2 verses without fingerpicking, and you can follow it and see how the chords relate, how the 2 hands fit together. As an introduction, you can just sit on C major for a little bit. I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jests, still a man hears what he wants to hear, and he disregards the rest. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared. Laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. And then we get into the chorus. And this is one chorus, one strum that you really got to do with your fingers, because of course we're not holding a pick unless you can manage to sneakily hold a pick like some people do, but I don't know how to do that. And the strum I would do is very simple. I'd strum, either play the bass note with your thumb or just strum the bass, and it's like a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and bass, down, down, up, bass, down, down, up, down. What I like to do is block the E string when I'm playing A minor with my thumb, so I can really just hit that A quite hard at the beginning. And then there's also a bit of an accent on the 2nd strum. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, and you go straight back into the finger picking. So verse 5 is different to all the other verses. It has a unique chord progression. In a way, it's the most emotional of the verses. and the chords change to reflect that. So the first line is the same as verse, all the other verses. Now I'm laying out my winter clothes and wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters aren't bleeding me. Then it goes to E minor, leading me, going home. To C, and we have 4 bars of C, so the last line is actually 5 bars long if we play it exactly the same way that Paul Simon does. But you don't have to, you just have to play a few bars of C and get ready for the final verse, verse 6, which has the exact same chord progression as verse 2 and 4. So verses 2, 4 and 6 all exactly the same, verse 1 and 3 exactly the same, and verse 5 unique and special with the E minors and the bleeding me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope that helped you to internalize the song. The song has brought me so much joy, actually listening to people sing it and singing it with people. And I really hope the same for all of you. If you've liked the video, feel free to hit the like button. If you'd like to see more from us, as we said, please do subscribe to the channel. We're doing videos on everything guitar, everything, every little bit of juice we can kind of squeeze out of the guitar, we're trying to squeeze out. So please come with on this journey. And if you want tabs and PDFs and all that stuff, then you can visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/altguitar. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.